Hey y'all, today's video is special. I did a project that I've never done before. I made a basket with a lid out of pine straw off the ground, and I'm going to show you how I did it. I turned something simple and overlooked into something beautiful and useful. But this isn't just a DIY. This craft has some deep roots. Native Americans have been weaving baskets from natural materials like pine straw, sweetgrass, and river cane for generations, creating pieces that weren't just pretty, but were meaningful, spiritual, and made with a purpose. Their designs, their hands, and their stories paved the way for so much of what we call handmade today. So y'all come along with me as I start from scratch, mess it up a few times, learn a lot, and hopefully end up with a basket, and a deeper appreciation for the hands and the cultures that have been doing this very beautifully for a very long time. It's a pretty cold day today in Alabama, so I'm taking Slade's Can-Am. It has doors and it has heat. His is the Can-Am Defender Max, the Lone Star Edition, and it's really nice to have here on the farm, not gonna lie. So I'm out here on our family property, somewhere I know has a lot of good pine straw, somewhere I've gathered it before from my flower beds. Got my Yeti bucket and I'm about to fill it up. As you can see, this spot is loaded with pine straw. I'm gathering the top layer of pine straw, which is the most freshly fallen. It has a really good color to it and it's not too old and brittle. I'm also gathering the longest needles I can find from these longleaf pines. Y'all, one thing that I want to point out about this project is that I'm using longleaf pine needles. Longleaf pines are a big deal in Alabama. They're beloved. People love them. It's what we have here. The needles are so long. They're usually like 10 to 12 inches or more. Longleaf is a yellow pine. Pines are split into two categories, white and yellow. A lot of yellows are in the south. They drop in needles of 3. White pines, I found a lot of them up north and in the Midwest. They drop in needles of 5. But because these longleaf pine needles are so long, they're perfect for coiling and building baskets. Y'all might have seen a viral video I did on pine straw because I realized that half of the world doesn't know what it is. We have a lot of it in the South, but in other places, some people just don't have pine trees, therefore they don't have pine straw. And my same realization got a lot of people thinking and weighing in. But then I got to thinking, we have all this pine straw on the ground, and what do we do with it? We put a lot of it in our flower beds. People start fires with it. But I'm like, we have this natural resource, and it's beautiful. It's a beautiful color. I'm sure I can make something with it. As you can see, I got my pine straw riding shotgun. I'm ready to go home and start my project. Next, I hopped back in the Can-Am and headed back to the house to start boiling the water. I kind of wish I had a bigger pan because the needles were so long. I poured the boiling water over them to clean them and to take care of any insects, and getting them wet and warm also makes them pretty flexible and workable. I let them sit in the water about 20 minutes, then I laid them out on a damp cloth. I had to remove the fascicle, which is the part on the end, with my fingernails. You can cut them too, but it's going to be easier to deal with clusters instead of individual needles. Next, I took a straw and I cut it to make a gauge out of it. This will keep all the needles together as you need to add more pine straw to it. I started by tying my wax thread in a double knot around the straw cluster, and I wrapped it tightly over and over again. After cutting off the excess straw, I bent it to start the coil. I put the needle through one end and out of the other. It was so tough that I had to pull the needle through with the pliers. I put the needle through the back of my work and started stitching it together. And y'all keep in mind that as you use pine straw, you're going to have to stuff more into the gauge. So after every few stitches, you're going to have to put some more in there. When I got past the coil, I started putting the needle straight through the stitch that I already made in the last coil. This is called a split stitch, and I found that it keeps your work looking very neat. After I got my coil to the diameter I wanted it, I started building a layer on top of the last coil I made, building the wall of the basket. So instead of working out, now we're working up. As you can see here, I'm kind of putting a little lip on the top of the basket so that the lid I make is going to fit in here. You guys just shape your basket however you want. There's plenty of baskets to look at online. I decided I wanted to make my basket a lid, so I started the exact same way I did the basket. I constantly checked the diameter of the lid to make sure it fit the basket, so when I got close to ending it, I stopped adding pine straw so that it kind of fizzled out. You couldn't really tell where the pine straw ended. So I finished off the basket and the lid with a knot. It's looking pretty good. The lid fits. And for a handle, I decided to get the smallest pine cone I could find that fit the basket, and I glued it on with super glue. I think it's pretty cute. I cannot believe I did it. I finished my pine straw basket. Here's my final advice and regrets. 1, I would start pretty small, something like this size. I think I got over ambitious with the lid, and I was trying to form one that kind of got smaller and then had a little lip to where the lid would fit in. I wish I would have just gone straight and not done a lid. Even though the lid is very cute, I feel like when I got fancy like that, my craftsmanship wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. Though for a first one, it is pretty awesome. I think I still did pretty good. I mean, when I squeeze it and like touch it, the basket is strong and it's coiled together really tightly. And I just found one of my hairs weaved into it. Okay. I saw a picture on the internet of one I really like that I'd like to do next, or even you could start out with. It's a little wider and it just has a small wall on it like this for a little catch tray. Another thing you can make, you know, this lid was kind of looking like a coaster. You can make some really cute coasters. If you got bigger, it could be a placemat, and they're just really beautiful. I do recommend the split stitch because look how my thread just follows that line. Final thoughts, I am really proud of it. I can't wait to make something else. I am going to take a break because my fingers hurt, and this, being my first, was a job. If you watched all the way until the end, hit me with this emoji in the comments, and thank y'all so much for watching. Get outside, enjoy nature, see what you can make out of it.